Hey, what's up? Back again.
That first bass note hit me in the chest, and I was just like, there's no way that's 2/8.
MB Enclosures has his own YouTube channel, and this guy is an animal when it comes to designing boxes.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to the challenge. Your boy MB here. And yes, y'all see it. Y'all thought I know some of y'all thought, man, he just picking on Sundown. Well, here's Digital Designs next to the DB Drive G78. Now, y'all know this is my favorite subwoofer. This is my woofer of choice. But I keep it a buck, man. I do keep it a buck. I'm going to be 100 all the time. I'm always going to be 100. So I had to do a comparison video with the DD against the G7 and point out some of the differences and some things are the same. Number one, y'all can see that, well, it doesn't look that much bigger than the DD. No, that's because the DD has a much bigger basket. You got a 7.5 inch cut out here, and he conquers the others than that, but you got an 8 inch cut out here. So already, the DD is going to be moving more L, all right? Also, they both share uniqueness, and they have free-flowing design on their baskets. Remember I pointed out with somebody else when I was talking about the what's going to spread faster, what's going to dissipate heat faster. Heat in the building is going to stay in the building, or heat on the grassland is going to be open. Well, both use free-flowing designs in their baskets. Both have proprietary baskets. As you can see, it's open. It's open to allow the heat to dissipate from around the voice coil as the coil moves with the spider inside the cone, as well to force air inside the inside of the former. But DD has another added trick. You can't see it, but those who do their own DD subs will. On the former, on DD's former, he has 6 holes on top of the former, so the air can get on the inside of the voice coil as well on the outside. That's a technology that the DB Drive has not used as of yet to cool their voice coil down. But one thing they have done is incorporate coming up their own spider. The spider on the DB Drive is G7, is reminiscence of the spider on the Digital Designs 2508. The rolls are not as bigger, but it's a proprietary spider. This is not the same spider that you see colored black, red, or I think sometimes they use a tan. This is a light gray spider that has very high rolls. The tinsel leads are sewn into the spider, whereas DD, since it's a hand-built subwoofer, you can't see their tinsel leads because it's sandwiched inside the spider itself. So if you just get the standard configuration, you got cloth, rubber, tinsel leads, rubber, spider. That's just one layer for them. The G7 sew their tinsel leads into the top of their spider. However, the rolls they're not as big as the Digital Designs, but they're substantially larger than you see on other subwoofers. So this makes the ability for it to play low. I gotta hear it first. But I do like that they utilize that. It makes me feel like maybe DB Drive is heavily influenced by Digital Designs. I took a note from them and learned very well. You can see the cooling. The DD has a bigger vent, the largest of all of them, than the DB Drive, and also has if you put your hand upside the Digital Designs pole piece, you'll see they have 8 holes also inside their pole piece. So they got holes on their former, and then they got holes up the pole piece to further incorporate air onto the voice coil. Now I'm pretty sure DB Drive is going to be watching this video and say, hey, we'll do that on generation 8. Yeah, we'll do that next. They're learning because this subwoofer here has eclipsed all the rest of them. And he's going to be, in my opinion, a contender. Definitely a contender for the crown. But he's got some things that the DD has a slight advantage of. Now you can see you have a larger motor structure of the G7 as opposed to the 2508. However, If you got the Stinger configuration, it will probably be leaning toward the G7 that's taking that title. But when you supercharge the DD, now you put that neo ring on the top of that pole piece, you increase the gauze, which increases the motor force, which makes your QES a little stronger, and now it's more of a fight. We're moving more air, and my motor is just as strong as yours, even though it's a little bit smaller. However, as compared to all the rest, he's making them bow down. Here and here, I'm gonna honestly say it's gonna be a fight. It's gonna be having a hand built driver from Digital Designs, utilizing features that you do not see in other 8s that just come off the shelf production model, because this is a production model, so similar to like a Sundown or Kicker, Toro Force 8, any of the other. This is a production model. DD is able to, with their hand built line, incorporate more features into their subwoofer that can help it compete effectively with a woofer such as the G7. It has not seen a woofer like the G7 at all. And that's just honest, just in my opinion. It has not seen a woofer with the technology they put inside the G7 in a long time. I feel when I showed DD this, when I showed DD the picture, they said, yeah, put it up against it. Finally. In fact, these are words you can quote. This is how DD felt about it. Finally. This is what Josh Langford said. Finally, somebody worth killing. And be mindful they are paying attention in the industry. And there was already revisions coming along for the Digital Designs that I am not at liberty to speak about right now. I'm not at liberty to speak about right now. But they have taken notice. It's obviously G7, DB Drive has took a look at the market and see what could be done, what was done wrong, and what could be done to best the performance of an 8-inch driver with a 7.5-inch cutout. And they have far exceeded them expectations. Now, let's go even further. Both use a 4-layer flat round aluminum voice core. I wrote down some things. That's why I keep looking here on my laptop here. The 2.7 aluminum voice core diameter, well, found out that that's a voice core size that the design has been using. They just listed as 2.5 because that's the nominal diameter. But this voice core former is what they normally use, 2.7. Those who in the industry that knows their best say, yeah, that's true, Bill, because we know exactly where they get their voice core from down. This American-made voice core. I don't know if they American-made this voice core and had it shipped to China, which is what some manufacturers do. But this is a very nice form. The only thing they could possibly do better here is put slits along the former like the DD so you can get even more cooling with your larger power handling. Far more power handling. 1250 arm is here, and I personally believe, looking at it, this is going to be conservatively rated. The Digital Design is rated 800 watts. I believe it could take 1,000. It could take 1,000 watts. But remember, this is a competition grade woofer, whereas this is more of a daily application. Daily application woofer, the best of his class. He's not technically in his class. I just wanted to show the comparisons between the two. And, I'm supposed to let y'all know, there's an answer. There is another revision coming from the DD2508, but it was already in the works way before the G7 even came out. All right. They both use a proprietary cone mixture. The cone, I think this glass and paper that DB Drive had made for itself, not the same as the Digital Designs, but they both had, now they use the proprietary baskets. They both said we're going to come up with our own cone mixture for the stiffness of the cone. So the G7 has its own cone mixture as well that they use on a G7 line that they do not use on any other line in a lineup. They pay for that extra. Similar, not in properties, but the concept is similar. They make their own basket. They make their own cone, just like Digital Designs does. Now, I explained to you about the supercharged ring on the DD, even though it has a smaller motor per se looking at it. It is just as strong as a larger motor because the supercharged ring increases the gauge of the motor 80 to 1,000. 80 to 1,000. So it's slightly smaller, but that neo ring is going to make up the difference. The spider on the DD, come on back up. The spider on the DD And the spider on the G7 is roughly the same height, but you got the ribs on the DD, and you can see the differences here. You can see the ribs on the DD, which enables it not to dimple on the excursion. The SD on the DD is 38, whereas the SD on the G7 is 34.76, roughly 35. So let's just say the not the FSD. SD is 35 against 38. A 7.5 inch cutout against an 8 inch cutout. So the DD is moving more air as well. I talk about the Tinsel lead, talk about the system reformer, cone mixture, spider, free flowing basket technology. So basically, what would you say just looking at it? You can never just look at a subwoofer and judge things. But the features that I have pointed out have shown you that it will be a fight at this point between these two. It will be a fight preferably between can't get that word out. I can't say preparatory either. It's going to be a fight between these two. Whereas he does not move the amount of air, he's trying to move with more force. But when you supercharge the DD 2508, now it's an almost equal battle, except I'm still moving more air per stroke. And don't let nobody in the industry tell you, man, that doesn't matter. If it didn't matter, a cone area didn't matter, then why do they make 8, 10s, 12, 15? If it doesn't matter, if cone area is not king, then why do they keep making larger size woofers? Remember, the performance level is met. Whoever's moving the most air is going to be the loudness. Now, the last point is that the DD is $459. Well, this is $499, $50 more. Is it worth the price? I would say so. At this point, looking at the technology features, they're not giving you doo-doo. It's some things on this woofer that I can look at and say, yeah, they giving you something here. They are giving you something here. This manufacturer, there's another manufacturer say G7 has been improving year after year. Well, Joshua, in relation to this manufacturer here, says he takes notice. He's taking notes. He looked at it. It looked good. They did a good job. They did a very good job. Very good job. And but he was already working on his answer before this boy came out. Now he have even more reason to answer rather quickly, because I'm sure y'all are looking at this and saying, "Oh man, it's the equal of the DD." Honestly, at this point, we got to hear it to see, but the technology is there. That's the truth. The technology is there. The performance is not. It's not going to be too far off. He's moving more air. Same motor force with his supercharged ring. The top plate is roughly. Wish I had my measurement on the top plate. My caliper battery is low. To actually measure that, the voice coil is trice brakes here, whereas the voice coil here is production model. So I don't think they were able to bake it 3 times. However, I still like this G7-8. Like this G7. I had to put up in this king so y'all wouldn't say that I'm bullying old poor Sundown. But as you can see, it's not dwarfing the Tinsel designs. In fact, when you look at it, you say, well, you can tell he's got a way bigger basket. So we're going to see what it do, man. Stand by next for the free air testing. And just want to see y'all similarities between the two. And you make your own mind up of what you feel. All right? Peace.